Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be back. I've just come back from a short vacation and I've been looking forward to filming a new video. It is the end of 2020. I wanted to do this video which basically talks about the fragrances that I wore more than anything else this year. Like a lot of you, I spent a lot of time at home this year. I did buy new fragrances. I bought a lot of samples as well. But these ones I really enjoyed. And a couple of them were surprises, but most of them, well, I love them all. I have done a review on the first two I'm going to talk about, and I'll get right into it, and I'll leave the links to those reviews in the description. First one is from Nikolai. This is New York Intense. If I can ever get that in focus, there you go. I have obviously spoken about this before. A lot of people love this fragrance and I'm no exception. Although it is not necessarily my favorite from this house, it was my gateway to this house because of how highly regarded it is. I think it is the best, masculine style, spicy, woody, almost fougere / Chypre hybrid. Oh, it's so good and lasts forever as well. That's New York Intense. The next one, again, was a purchase from this year. I did first smell this last year and I had to revisit it again because I'd seen it, I talked about this fragrance with some people and I wanted to give it another try, but I've kind of fallen head over heels for this fragrance since I got it early in the year. This is, there we go, get that in focus, Habernita from Molinard. This is the Eau de Parfum. I've done a review recently on this. This is just one damn sexy, sensual fragrance I love to wear. I would love to smell on anyone else, but check it out. It has been around for a long time in other forms. This is the more modern Eau de Parfum version, but to me, I have actually gotten to smell an older version of the Habernita Eau de Toilette. I still actually prefer the Eau de Parfum as well, so there is that. This next one as well, I had a sample of this, which I got late last year, and I had to wait a while before I could find the bottle of this. And they were repackaged and probably reformulated slightly. I can't confirm that. This is from Caron. This is the classic Tabac Blonde. That's the new bottle that they come in, which is beautiful, nice, heavy lid. But this still smells like the Tabac Blonde that I got to know through the sample, which was, I think, an older version, although not vintage by any stretch. But I love the fact that, I didn't need to smell vintage to know that I loved this one. A review will be coming shortly, but it's so good, so good. Yes, there's tobacco in there, but to me, it's really all about carnation and leather. It's a very really unisex fragrance, although it was originally marketed for women. Smoky, bit of spice, but really this just reeks of early 20th century glamour and charm. Two most worn for the year. This one's another Nikolai. This is Patchouli Intense, which actually was a blind buy when I purchased a New York Intense, but as it happened, it was a wonderfully lucky blind buy because I love this fragrance more than the New York Intense. But I can understand why this one maybe is not quite as popular as New York Intense, because the way this is put together and the accords that exist in this one may not be for everyone. I think this is actually a little bit more less accessible in terms of a modern style fragrance. New York Intense was a classic structure modernized somewhat. This one is almost like Nikolai recreating a particular era. To me, it has a very 70s vibe, and you can almost use words like hairspray to talk about facets of it. I get a lot of lavender and geranium. So patchouli in the name, patchouli intense. The patchouli is not so much there as a main player. I think mainly what it does here is provides this kind of green, earthy, mossy base for those aromatics to sit on top. There is certain spice in the top as well, but it's just beautifully evocative for me, this fragrance. And like I say, it's not going to be I don't think it is as accessible as New York Intense is, but this just knocked me out and goes on for hours and hours and hours. My last fragrance, most worn for 2020, is not a bottle. Earlier in the year, I bought a bottle from Ormond Jane Tolu, and as part of that purchase, I received a travel spray size of Ormond Woman from Ormond Jane. I haven't reviewed this one yet, but that's my little travel spray of Ormond Woman. A couple of years back, I did test Ormond Man from this house, and I just was a little bit underwhelmed, not that impressed by it. But this year, this fragrance really kind of triggered a love of greener fragrances, grassiness, leaves, stems, all of that kind of thing. What I love about what Ormond Woman does is that it is one of the freshest zesty greens I have tried, and it's almost as if someone's squeezed some citrus, like almost lemon juice, over a handful of plucked grass, and then there is a remnant of some kind of floral notes. This develops from that fresh, citrusy, zesty green, gets a little bit floral, and then there is also in the base, eventually there is an amber accord there that adds this kind of opulent, lush sweetness for me. I'm not sure about the individual notes that create it, but I kind of, again, this is one where I just really appreciate what it does on my skin rather than trying to analyze it too much. Eventually I'll have to try when I do a review of this, but for me, I just enjoy it. I wore this on Christmas Day. It sticks to clothes really nicely. Like the next day I happened to be holding the top that I was wearing on Christmas Day, and I could still smell it very, very distinctly. And forget the name Ormond Woman. This is something that can be worn by everyone easily. I don't actually find anything here that most men would say, oh, it's too feminine for me. And I think in a way Ormond Jane does itself a disservice by calling this Ormond Woman, because I'm thinking they probably could sell more of this if they call it something else that, you know, didn't delineate what gender should wear it. Anyway, my most worn fragrances for 2020. A lot of testing at home, not a lot of feedback. No, I got one compliment this year, and that came from my daughter, but one for the whole year. That's what 2020 was like. Let me know what you wore most if you know that in the comments, and I'll see you soon with another video. But I hope you all had a great Christmas and looking forward to a much better 2021. See ya.